Bene. I think we are connected. Marco, is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the 5th Social Impact Investment International Conference. Also this year, the conference is a distant conference. Always hoping that the future year will be in presence again. So, but even for today, we had to stay in a remote mood. I'm happy anyway that you join us also this year. Sustainable finance is actually on fashion, but I'm really happy that we can meet together, that we can meet a network of people who are convinced of sustainable finance. So are not actually focusing on sustainable finance because of fashion, but because they really believe in the power of sustainable finance and believe in the possibility of sustainable growth, also thanks to specific and focused research. So thank you very much for being with us. Let me first give some word about the structure of the conference. The conference is promoted by the Department of Management of Sapienza University of Rome, in partnership with CASMEF, Luis Guido Carli, and Unitelma Sapienza. But we also have the patronage of Italian National Body for Microcredit. And we have 3 event partners this year: Conso, our financial authorities for financial markets, Luzzatti, and Social Impact Agenda for Italy, which is a network of deriving from the G8 Task Force of Social Impact Investment. And then we have our network partner, the University Alliance for Positive Finance. I thank you all, and I thank mostly Mediocredito Centrale, because Mediocredito Centrale is also the sponsor of our Best Paper Awards. Even this year, we will have this award. I will come back on that later on. I will just anticipate that the celebration of the awards is scheduled by tomorrow afternoon. So all those, stay tuned and cross fingers. I will come back on the structure in more details, but let me give the floor for institutional welcomes to 3 colleagues who know very well the initiatives and are very close to this initiative. And I thank you all once again. I will start with our Dean of the Faculty of Economics, Fabrizio D'Ascenso, and then I will follow with Professor Pasca, who is director of the school SIIIC in Terma Sapienza, and I will finally give the floor to Livio De Santoli, our vice rector in deputy of the sustainability of our university. So Fabrizio, the floor is yours for your welcomes. Thank you.
Okay, Mario, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, and thank to all the participants for being here. I'm obviously happy to participate in your conference, and I'm only sorry that unfortunately this year too we are needed to make an online conference. So the contribution coming from the Faculty of Economics is only, let's say, virtual. We would have been very happy to host you in our rooms here in the faculty, as we did some years ago, but unfortunately it is not time to organize a conference in presence yet, but we really hope that this will be possible for the next year. Unfortunately, the situation here, even if the situation in our country is certainly better than the one of other countries, but for the pandemic, it is safer to keep on going with an online conference for this year too. Naturally, it is a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate the structure of the conference and even the continuity of this initiative. We are at the 5th edition, and thanks to the commitment of Professor Latorre, this initiative is going on, and we are naturally proud of this organization. And I have checked the program of these 2 days, and I found it very interesting. And I'm certainly sure that all participants and spectators will be very interested in all the topics that are inside the program. So I will stop my welcome speech here, because first of all, there are other hosts that are requested to speak, and moreover, and please, I do apologize about this, I will have another presentation in not more than 10 minutes. Today I have 3 presentations in a row, 2 online and 1 in presence in the municipality of Rome, so I will be needed to move. But I wanted to be present because it is, let's say, a sign of estimation of this initiative, and it is very important to be here. So thanks once again to all of you. Thanks especially to Professor Latorre as the organizer of the conference, and I leave the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Fabrizio, our dean, for joining us. If you have time during these 2 days to pop in according to your specific interest, you're very much welcome. And thanks again. Thanks again. Ciao, buona giornata. Have a good day. Roberto Pasca, as I was anticipating, is responsible for school SIIIC in Terma Sapienza. Is very much expert of sustainable development. He will stay with us for all the morning, not in the afternoon, but maybe you will join us tomorrow as well. So Roberto, some words of welcome.
Mario, thank you very much. I'm not an expert like you of the argument, but I'm very pleased to participate to the 5th edition of the Social Impact Investment International Conference. I participate in the past to the conference in presence, and I got a lot of issue and analysis coming from very well paper. Professor Latorre has organized with some difficulties this meeting this year, but the participation, the wide participation of expert and researcher is the most important aspect that confirm the importance of this conference, and in the interest for in the period like this one, where Italy is engaged in the use of resources to support sustainable development. I want now to just to tell you a few words concerning the School of Financial Cooperation and Development in logo SIIIC, in English challenge, that we created last year in Uniterma Sapienza University of Rome in order to realize some main mission. The main mission of the school is can be synthesized as managing specialized training courses for students and professional operators, promoting studies, report, brief notes, and policy papers, always in the field of financial inclusion, international cooperation, sustainable development, and innovation, mainly as it concerns the promotion of small startup. Another objective is to participate to events like this one and conference dedicated to the dissemination initiative. We also, as SIIIC, participate to European project in collaboration with other national and international organizations. This aspect has been very well developed by SIIIC within the Erasmus project concerning the labor reintroduction, the reintroduction of unemployed people in the labor market. Finally, the SIIIC support the Unitelma Sapienza, the rector and the senate in doing other specific study and specialization courses. SIIIC, the school, is supported by a scientific committee and is also guided by a French club where there is a participation of students, of degree students and young researchers. So thank you again, Professor Latorre, for giving us the possibility to support the conference, and we confirm our important interest to these arguments. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Roberto. I know you stay with us, so we have a chance to come back to you. Livio, our vice rector, with a special task on sustainability. It's very important that Sapienza has had this idea of putting the accent on this issue, and not by now. So thanks again for joining us. But if you have the chance, to in few minutes to tell us, we have in the audience also many students by Sapienza, and it will be a pleasure for them to listen what Sapienza is doing in terms of sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mario. It's really a great pleasure to be here. I thank you for your invitation, the invitation of Department of Management of the Economy Faculty of Sapienza. As you said, as you already said, it's going on a very important activity of Sapienza as its whole, related to the sustainability process. The potential, the huge potential of Sapienza is the fact to have more than 60 different departments in 12 different faculties, covering all the scientific aspects of a university. And of course, we have more than 3,000, probably 3,500 teachers and researchers in Sapienza, relating to each different aspect of the scientific world. This is a huge potential because we can have the possibility to put in the field the complex of different disciplines which moves in a direction of sustainability together. And this is very important because transdisciplinarity is one of the pillars of sustainability. And we in Sapienza can move in this direction. From the formation for the research for the so-called third mission in all the aspects. And in this frame, it's very important to consider also finance. Sustainable finance plays a fundamental role in ensuring inclusion and social and environment consideration in all the decision-making processes. This is very important because the different goals of United Nations or of Agenda 2030 contribute to build a sustainable growth, and the financial system may support it in a transversal way. So it's very important to constitute within our group, the Committee of Sustainable Topics in Sapienza, include in a very horizontal way also all the innovative process in the financial aspect. In particular, this theme of sustainable finance. This is the reason why the intersection of any discipline can be forwarded to finalize the effort in the way of sustainability. So my suggestion is, we started with this committee since no more than 6 months. I suggest to include also this topic as fundamental in integration of the other aspect. I am very happy to understand this very important structure of your conference, covering many different aspects of finance work. And I think that this could be a big suggestion for myself and for my group in order to move on in this direction, with the supporting of financial aspect as well, integrating with the other aspect. So Mario, thank you very much for your effort, and I give my welcome to everybody on behalf of Sapienza, but I wish you a very good job today and tomorrow, and keep in touch in order to follow in this direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Livio, once again for joining us and for appreciating the initiatives and the contents of the conference. It is true we have this year many interesting papers and also many interesting authors and speakers over these 2 days. So thank you once again. I leave you to your duties, and then of course I will update on the results of the conference. The result of the conference will be staff materials and videos, and of the 2 days will be on the platform in the next few weeks. So everyone who's interested and can pop in on the platform and download papers or presentation or watch videos actually. Okay?
And if you agree, Mario, we can have afterwards a meeting in order to summarize the result of your initiative. So
would be great. I'm very much open to
see you soon.
Thank you, Livio. Have a nice day. Ciao. Grazie. Well, now let me. I have a few minutes to anticipate in more detail the structure of the today work and the tomorrow works. But before doing that, let me thank all the authors that we can wait in order to show the presentation of the first keynote speaker. Just a second, please. I'm just presenting the structure of today and tomorrow. But let me first thank all the authors who submitted their papers to the conference. Thank you very much. Let me thank also the keynote speaker, the chair, that accepted our invitation. And mostly the discussant. I say mostly because with some of them we were in the position of sending them the paper just few days before the conference. This was not because of our negligence, but because we wanted to be inclusive. We all know how much we are stressed in, respecting in the submission day. So we try to wait for all the papers to be submitted in the full draft. But I understand that it's difficult with our agenda and the agenda of everybody, to comply with this duty. So thank you very much to the discussant in that respect. Then let me thank also the scientific committee, the organizing committee, and our editors, Palgrave Macmillan, Sustainability, and Rivista Bancaria. With Palgrave Macmillan, we will have a 10 minutes of presentation at the end of this afternoon. So I don't spend any words, but there is a specific focus on with Palgrave, but I don't want to anticipate anything. And let me instead give my very warm welcome to our two keynote speakers, these 2021 keynote speaker, Zivko Berkant, that I see connected. Ciao, Zivko. And Magda Ziolo. I don't know if she's online. Magda, if you are online, you can just switch your video on. Anyway, Zivko and Magda are two colleagues who focus their research on sustainable finance. It's a great pleasure to me to have them with us this year because of two reasons. First of all, because they have just published interesting books on the series that I edit for Palgrave Studies in Impact Finance, but this is a personal, let's say, satisfaction. The most important thing is that these two books are focusing on two topics which are very hot in the sustainable finance agenda. As for Zivko, this topic is Zivko, I will put it very simple, then you will have the chance to come back on your keynote speak. But the topic is accountability and integrated accountability. So how we can integrate the traditional accounting system with the accountability of non-financial factors. As for Magda, the focus is on business models. And that's another key issue because especially looking at financial intermediaries and banks are approaching sustainable finance mostly because of ESG risks. Instead, it is important to have an holistic idea of sustainable finance, and this holistic idea starts from rethinking the business model and in trying to understand how a business model can be ESG oriented. So thanks once again to both of you. Zivko will give his keynote speech in a few minutes this morning. Magda will give her keynote speech at the starting of the afternoon section. Then after the two keynote speech, we have the parallel section in which we will present the papers. And thanks again to authors, chairs, and discussant. And before the closing remarks, we have the Palgrave desks. We will have Tula Weiss, which is editor-in-chief for Palgrave and who's also supervising my Palgrave Studies in Impact Finance. And then we have a restricted meeting only for the scientific committee in order to fine-tuning all the process or the evaluation process for the best paper awards that, as I anticipated, will be celebrated tomorrow afternoon before the end of the conference. Let me give you a few words also for the tomorrow section. Tomorrow we will have two interesting workshops. There will not be presentation of papers, but we have two interesting workshops. One is focused on sustainable finance and mutual banks, with a special focus on Banche Popolari. The second one is on sustainable finance, financial markets, and asset managers. We have a lot of very skilled panelists, but tomorrow I will go in more detail. But let me anticipate that as for the morning, we will have a keynote speech by Alberta Menicucci, Bank of Italy, and the presentation of a survey by the Italian Banking Association by Angela Tanno, while in the afternoon we will have a keynote speech by Chiara Mosca, board member of CONSOB, our financial authorities, and then a lot of very skilled, distinguished panelists. I don't want to take more time because ZIIIC is already ready.
Sorry, Mario. Sorry, Mario.
Yes.
Could you give us some more details on the schedule of the meeting?
Pardon, the detail
on this morning conference table. So after the keynotes, there will be.
No. After the keynotes, tomorrow morning in the morning.
Today, this morning. I mean,
this morning after the keynotes, we will have the parallel session. So we will start. We have two parallel sections from 10:30 to 12:10. 11:30 from 12:11. Yes, and then we have other two sections from up to 1:30. So. Sorry, I cannot.
A lot of noise.
No, sorry, I cannot really. No, there is someone who has the. Can I beg you to put the microphone off if you are, of course, if you are not allowed to speak. And one thing that I can say that we have a break after the keynote speech by ZIIIC of 10 minutes if we will be on time. So we will start again after the break. But I'll give you more detail after the keynote speech. Okay. I don't want to take more minutes because we are a little bit late, and it is important because the parallel section are very full of paper. It is important to start on time. ZIIIC, the floor is yours. Thanks once again. I imagine you are allowed to manage your presentation. Marco, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so ZIIIC, you can show in a presentation mode your slides. Of course, ZIIIC also make it available let's say a speech version of this presentation, and it will be available after the conference on the conference platform. So as I anticipated, the focus of the presentation by ZIIIC is on how banks can, all firms, but mostly banks can manage the accountability issue if they have to integrate traditional accounting with non-financial information. Are you ready, ZIIIC?
Yes, I'm ready.
Great.
Just help me. Do you see the slides?
No, not yet. I was.
Oh.
No, we see the desktop of your PC right now. So I think I think that if you will open the file, we should be able to.
Just a minute.
So you share this your screen, that's for sure. So now if you can you open your presentation, because if you open your presentation, we should be perfect. If you put in presentation mode, like you know. Now you see your slides, but not in the old screen, but we can see it.
You can see the slides?
We can see the slide, but not in the old screen. So you have to put in presentation.
You have to press this symbol here.
You have to press, down. You have to press
this symbol.
You see.
Yes, I see.
You know how to do it, Zivko, because there is a sort of, let's say, if I see correctly, that's a sort of cup of champagne, something like that down. No.
Okay.
No.
You see now?
No, now we don't see the slide. I don't know, Marco. Can we?
Maybe you have switched to full screen. It's a compromise,
I don't know.
Because the presentation is going to another screen somehow.
Ottimo. Okay, Zivko, can you put it once again, your presentation, not but like in a simple way, so without trying to put in because we were able to see the presentation. So please, if you can, we have two alternatives, or you can come back on the first modality, because we were able to see, even if it was not so comfortable. Or Marco, I don't know if we can manage it from the platform.
And I suppose that you should see
no, Zivko, no.
Could you click on the left on the PowerPoint icon already open?
Sure. Mario, fatti mandare per email la presentazione.
Ma ce l'abbiamo. So if we can, Zivko, can you close everything, please? Can you close everything? Zivko.
Professor, do you have them? Can you
close everything, please? Close everything. We try to manage from Zivko. You can. Yeah. Can you close everything?
The meeting?
Yeah, no, not the meeting. Close your echo, right, like that. Fantastic. So maybe I can share the screen and show your presentation if you.
Please, yes, do it.
Okay. Okay, just a second.
Excellent.
La vedete?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Hello to everybody. I would like to focus to socially responsible investment financing. The first slide is maybe, can you go on? In this speech, I would like to focus socially responsible investment financing. Socially responsible behavior is not only modern topic,
Namely, it is also a prerequisite for achieving sustainable society as a whole. However, there are some misunderstandings and weaknesses in the theory and practice that have their impact also on banking practice. This is particularly important given the strong influence of banks on the operation of companies and thus on the development of the economy as a whole. Further slide, please. Yeah, thank you. To help us, I will offer the main definition as starting point. This definition of social responsibility is very important. Social responsibility, I understand, as a responsibility of individuals and organization systems of all forms and levels for the creation and distribution of value added that is in increasing the welfare of the whole society. The main problem is here that above definition prefers value added, but accounting standards still require profit and loss statement as a basic information. Value added is in the broadest sense, doesn't reduce the level of well-being, even though it is fully consumed. Therefore, it is not EVA, it means economic value added, nor today's known accountancy category. Value added presents reserves for successful risk management. Without acceptance, without acceptance, the value added as the most important category, it is therefore difficult to talk about social responsibility awareness. Further, please. Banks contribute to creating value added in the operation of customers. They therefore contribute to better risk management in companies. It is possible because banks bear a part of risk in companies that have taken out bank loans. They are therefore exposed to credit risk. Therefore, the content of the bank's credit is not a contractual relationship, but a stakeholder relation where the risk is distributed among the stakeholders and among lenders as well. Further, please. On this basis, banks are companies' stakeholders par excellence. I think it is a very important statement. This means that banks are entitled to an appropriate share of the borrower's value added. Therefore, the interest that belongs to bank is by its content an integral part of value added created by a debtor and a form of bank's participation in the value added distribution. Such a relationship by its content doesn't require obligatory payment of interest by neglecting the performance of the debtor. It means that interest should be paid only in the case of profit created on the particular project. There are some possibilities to solve the above difficulties in banks. First is the implementation of the system of project financing, which is today used in a minor volume. The second possibility is the modification of the debtors into partners with the agreed participation of banks, maybe as a percentage, in the value added created. The third possibility is modification of the obligation law. For example, we can say we can use Sharia law that requires a broader consensus, of course. The main rights of banks as borrowers, stakeholders, stems from the duty to manage their credit risk. It is possible through monitoring the operations and the performance of debtors. In the paper prepared for this conference, more details are discussed, particularly about monitoring investment processes. Second duty is consulting, in particular about better information system and risk management in companies. Banks can be important consultants, particularly because of their impact on companies. The third duty is banks should participate in borrowers' restructuring processes and in crisis management when necessary. The implementation of these rights directly increases the creation of value-adding companies. Therefore, it is very important. All the rights of banks as stakeholders are also their obligations in terms of their social responsibility. This means that such a behavior of banks is quite reasonably expected. Further, please. So the first point was monitoring borrowers' performance. There are important areas for monitoring borrowers. The first area is solvency, their solvency. It means to monitor capital adequacy of companies in particular, which is a first condition for good solvency. This capital adequacy of companies is has very low interest in literature, but I'm sure that it is very important in day-to-day practice, and also in finance theory. The second important area is long-term investment ability of companies, which is close related to their capital adequacy. The third important area are periods of important investing processes, which are detailed discussed in my paper for this conference. The fourth is, of course, market strategy and development opportunities, which are found by companies, and banks should monitor also these processes. The fifth area is commitment to social responsibility, social responsible behavior of borrowers. It is very important to be social responsible on the both sides, banks and companies, of course. Further, about information system on which banks can have very important impact. I would like to present such an understanding of accountancy, which has an information in proper reporting in particular. Accountancy as a difference item from accounting. Accounting we see as the only processing part of accountancy. The second part of accountancy is management in accountancy. Each leader of each head of accounting department is also a manager, which has to plan, organize, and have leadership on human resources. He has to control, has to ethic behavior, risk prevention of fraud, for instance, and have to form strategy of accountancy as a whole. It should be social responsible oriented to economics, environment, and society. Through it means to triple bottom results. It is quite complicated, but it's in details explained in my paper. Thank you. Further, please. Participation in borrowers' restructuring processes is quite difficult for banks, especially. Banks should timely respond to unfavorable business trends of debtors. For example, warnings, requirements for appropriate decisions, and offerings for help to realize them. If necessary, banks must cooperate with companies' owners directly and also to other creditors as well. Banks should be ready to implement crisis management over borrowers in difficulty in a timely manner. It of course requires additional skills and professional people. Such a behavior of banks as lenders and as stakeholders would indicate the awareness of their deeply social responsibility. Okay. Further slide, please. Next slide, please. Mario. No, one back. There are, of course, also justified obligations of borrowers. In particular, it is acceptance of banks as truly stakeholders and thus also their rights and obligations. Second, true and fair reporting to banks, and then taking into account, considering their proposals. And at last, establishing appropriate communication and mutual understanding with bank employees. Such a behavior of borrowers would indicate the awareness of their social responsibility as well. It requires also deep changes in managers' mind. Banks could be important helpers to these changes. Next slide, please. It is quite obvious that above statements require some improvements in banks and in companies as well. Some ideas above may seem idealistic, but they are professionally justified and are in line with the definition of social responsibility that was given above at the beginning of this presentation. Important changes in the legal system are also needed. The system will not change if academics and professionals from practice will not require these changes. Their consensus is therefore extraordinarily important. Last but not least, banks have important influence on the society as a whole. Therefore, their effort to change traditional thinking and practice could be very efficient for the transition to sustainable future. Here are some provocative ideas to think about it. That was all my ideas for this introduction. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, SIIIC. You said maybe these are, it's an ideal word, but I don't think it's too much ideal, because it seems to me that the model that you propose, it's quite close to what investment funds and asset managers, the ones that are more focused on sustainable finance, of course, are already implementing. Asset managers, some asset manager, has a shareholder advocacy, which is very, very close to what you are picturing with respect to banks. The idea of having a different relationship with debtors and a different relationship between banks and debtors, it's very close to me to this model of shareholder advocacy of investment funds, and it's something that maybe it's an emerging issue at this stage, but I think that in the new business model of banks, there will be some pills of your model that you have presented today. Of course, I remember that a more extensive explanation of this model is in your book, published with Palgrave Macmillan, and also for the audience that you have made it available a short draft of this presentation. So thank you once again, because what you put on the floor will be discussed in more detail, I think, tomorrow in the morning section, when we will approach the perspective of sustainable finance for mutual banks, but also will be recalled in the afternoon section of tomorrow afternoon section, when we will actually focus on asset managers. So thank you once again, SIIIC. Hope you can stay with us, if not the whole day, hoping that you can pop in as you will have time to come back to the conference. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and all the best for further conference.
Thank you. You can switch off the microphone, and of course we will be happy if you will stay with us. Now we have a 15 minutes break. Our sections are scheduled by 11:30. So I remember we have two slots of sections, two sections, section A and section B. Section A is titled Sustainable Finance Regulation and Public Sector, and section B, Sustainable Finance Risks and Performance, are scheduled by 11:30 to 12:30. And then we have another round of other two sections, section C and section D, Sustainable Finance Products and Platforms, and Sustainable Finance and Impact Measurement, from 12:30 to 1:30. We are perfectly on time. So what I suggest, I don't know if all the authors and all the chairs are already there, but we stay with our starting with our agenda. 11:30. But if some section is already ready minutes earlier, we can anticipate like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay, so let's stay with the program. But I think, Marco, we can how does it work? You know, how can we enter the different section?
The sessions are available in the online program by using the live portal, the main page that everyone has entered just right after the login into the website. So entering the live portal, then Zoom rooms, they will find every room, and then by clicking enter room 1, room 2, room 2.
Okay, let's put it also in Italian for all the for our students and
dopo il login tutti quanti, come penso siano già entrati sul live portal. Dal live portal si accede, oltre che alla diretta Zoom, alla diretta YouTube, alle dirette Zoom, su un programma complessivo nel quale compaiono i link accanto a ciascuna room a seconda dell'orario. Chiaramente quei link sono attivi nello specifico orario. Le sessioni sono attivate in modo tale che possano entrare anche 5 minuti prima, quindi a proposito del discorso di anticipare eventualmente.
Ok, e per noi vale lo stesso? Cioè andiamo sulla pagina della conferenza?
Potete usare anche i link come preferite.
Ok.
Diretti.
Benissimo. Ok, so now che succede? Andiamo in pausa. So what is happening now?
Questa comunque si interrompe. Sì.
We stop here this general section, and then we will meet again at parallel section 11:30. But if you are ready, even 5 minutes earlier, I would suggest to connect by 11:25. Okay, so we can be more relaxed in managing the section. Okay.
Scusa, Mario, allora chiudiamo questa?
Sì.
Yeah.
C'è l'altro link sull'email? C'è l'altro link già sulla mail? Sulla mail ricevuta?
No, non lo so, però adesso poi ti chiamo e ti vediamo. Yes.
Tanto chiudo questa.
Ok, so see you at 11:25. Ok?
Io sono pronto.
Ok, ciao.